Welcome to our GTAI Medica 2021 online sessions. My name is Gabriel Flemming. My role at GTAI is to help international manufacturers setting up business in Germany. In this session, I will start out by providing an overview of the German hospital market. And hospital purchasing expert Mr. Rüdiger Müller will follow me then with his insiders briefing, coming to grips with purchasing, hospital purchasing in Germany. GTAI, Germany Trade and Invest, is the economic development agency of the Federal Republic of Germany. We have two major sections. Trade is designated to support German industry exporting to international destinations. Invest is the section which I'm part of. We're all about helping international manufacturers looking into Germany, understanding the market, understanding the country, and understanding how to expand and set up business in Germany. We offer a variety of free services, all designated to roll out the red carpet for those international manufacturers looking into Germany, market and industry analyses, market entry analyses, for example, regarding CE certification and reimbursement situations. We provide extensive legal information, including how to set up a legal entity, for example, usually talking about a GmbH here in Germany. We can also explain how to set up employment contracts, etc., etc. Funding and financing information is part of our portfolio as well, including those an overview of government grants and incentives for manufacturers settling down in Germany. And finally, last but not least, partnering and site selection support, right? We'll be happy to find innovation or manufacturing partners for you in industry or in the German hospital sector, for example. And of course, we're all about helping you to decide where might be the best business location in Germany for you to set up your business. The German hospital sector is made up with close to 2,000 hospitals. We have 1,914 hospitals up and running currently. They're treating some 20 million patients every year, spending close to 100 billion euros annually. We currently have 494,000 hospital beds in Germany, which puts us on the first place in Europe. The number of hospital beds per 1,000 inhabitants is six hospital beds per 1,000 inhabitants. It's a very good, very high number. The next largest country in Europe, for example, has about the half of this indicator, 3 per 1,000 inhabitants. There's 1 million staff employed by those hospitals. The average patient case generates costs of 4,695 euros, and the average length of stay of those patients in hospital during treatment is about 7 days on average, which leads us to have a bed occupancy rate of 77%, which is relatively high as well. Spending of German hospitals is ever increasing. Over the last 10 years, there's a continuous increase. 2019, the beginning of the Corona crisis, we've witnessed an increase of 6%. The year before, 2018, was still down at 2.4%. Previously, 2017, an increase of 4%. So over the last couple of years, we have a very sound and attractive increase of spending 4% on average. Attractive because this, of course, poses excellent business outlooks for manufacturers catering to the German market. The number of hospitals is actually decreasing by a very slow pace in Germany. over the last couple of years, we've decreased about 6-7% in the last 10 years. There's an overall trend to have larger hospitals, and also there's a privatization going on, right? We see that there's a trend of hospitals being run by corporations rather than state-owned organizations or city-owned hospitals or Red Cross hospitals, for example. There's a trend to have hospitals run by corporations. As a snapshot at the moment, here's a clustered table of hospitals by number of beds categorized. We see that we still have many small hospitals. However, the major part, of course, is in the section between 100 and 400 beds in Germany. Yet we also have very large hospitals, specifically 96 hospitals of those with 800 plus hospital beds. Looking at the regional distribution, there's quite an interesting mix depending on which region we are looking at. The density of hospital beds is quite different, right? In the most populous area in the west of Germany, we see there's 118,506 in the state of North Rhine-Westphalia, for example. And going further south in a smaller state, Saarland, the number is quite different, 6,495. On the right side here of this chart is an excerpt of the top 10 hospitals in Germany by number of beds. Tops here is Berlin Charité. It's actually Europe's largest university hospital with just about 3,000 beds, followed by hospital in Munich, all the way down in the south. And then further to the west is the third largest. So we see that it's actually really a geographical mix. And maybe this overview helps you understand which region might be most important for your technology teams, innovation teams, clinical trial teams, sales teams, right? We have a free online resource available. It's a database where you can search for specific hospitals by ranking of specific operations frequency, right? For example, you can type in PTCA, that's a cardiology treatment, surgical procedure, and the database will drop out the amount of hospitals that perform these procedures, and you can also rank them. For what we see here is, for example, the top 10 hospitals ranked by frequency of operation of PTCA. You will see that Berlin is among the top 10 here, Leipzig. Further south, it's Munich again, in the southwest, Freiburg, etc., etc. It's a very interesting database. You can search via spelled names of operations. You can use operations and procedure codes. You can also use international codification of diseases. You're welcome to reach out to me directly if you're interested in partnering with any specific hospital here to run clinical trials, for example. German hospitals are often embedded in our national cluster infrastructure. They're very open to partnering with innovators from international destinations, the same as from Germany. Cluster management teams are at hand to arrange for introductions, actually personal introductions, and potentially even R&D partnering or R&D funding grants, actually, if applicable. If you run clinical trials and develop innovative devices, you may be able to receive public funding grants. The white bubbles here on the right in the map show those innovation clusters that have already received EU quality certification. We'll be happy to introduce any of them. In Berlin, for example, Berlin Health Capital. In the state of Saxony, further south around Dresden and Leipzig, it's Bio-Saxony. Medways in Thüringen, Thuringia. Any of these clusters is very interested in partnering with innovators and will be happy to make introductions. The blue bubbles actually show areas with high concentration of medtech manufacturers. Right, so again, my name is Gabriel Flemming. I'm with GTAI, and the next opportunity to meet in person is at Medica 2021. Our booth is in Hall 15, K33. Very welcome to drop by spontaneously, sit down for an interview and discussion about Germany to understand more how this country works, how the market works, and how your company can be successful here and set up business eventually. You can also contact me directly via email or telephone. We can arrange for a meeting time at Medica, or we can also exchange emails anytime regarding any request or question you may have about the German medical technology market, the German hospital market, etc. It is now my pleasure to pass over to Mr. Rüdiger Müller with his presentation, Coming to Grips with German Hospital Purchasing. Mr. Müller spent his career, actually the entire career, himself as purchasing manager at various hospitals. Nowadays, he's active as an interim manager for a number of hospitals as well as a consultant. Right, thank you so much. Mr. Müller, please proceed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Flemming, for the invitation for the little webinar to the German hospital purchasing process. How can you go in the German market? How can you talk to the hospital purchaser and the doctors and the nurses? I was 20 years, I have experience in the purchasing department of hospitals, working together with hospitals from different size and equal if they're private, public, or hospitals of the church. And on the other side, I work together with the medical companies to have some to go to in the market, to enter the German market, special for foreign companies. What does the decision-making process look like? It's equal if we talk about in private, public, or in hospital of the church. In the normal way, we have the doctor or the care or the nurse, and the other one side, at the other side, we have the procurement or the economic department in the hospitals. Normally, the doctor comes to me and gives me some flyers or informations or offers because I saw you at a workshop or a congress or something else, and he says to me, to the head of purchaser, I would like to change the supplier, or we would like to have a new supplier, or we would like to have a new product. And then the head of purchasing or the procurement department looks if we have existing suppliers or existing products comparing to the offer from the doctor, or do we have no other product or supplier comparing which the doctor wants to have. And then we talk from first side to the other side to the other side, and after that, or after sometimes a few days, sometimes after a few months, or there is a decision. Normally we have a central procurement committee in the hospitals. There is a doctor, there is the management, there is purchasing department, medicine controlling, IT management, and so on and so on. And then there's a purchase decision, yes or no. If there's the hospital purchasing or a procurement committee says yes, it's a job of the head of purchasing to go to you, to work together with you, to make the contracts, to make the fixed price, and so on. But we have a little frameworks. For example, the GPOs, German purchasing organizations. I will show it in the next slides. 95% of the hospitals in Germany are member of the GPOs. It's very important, for example, if it's your product or if it's your company, can I optimize my process? Can I optimize my quality of the patient care or the satisfaction of the patient? on. It's very important is the cost monitoring, return on investment of your product, return of your investment of your company. That before we have in Germany, we have the German purchasing organizations, GPOs. 95% are member in this GPOs. These are the biggest one in Germany, Prospitalia. It's in Prosana, EG Unico, it's special for the university hospitals, Clinic Partner, AG CAMED, EKK, PEG. So this is the biggest one. We have some smaller ones, special for the smaller hospitals or special for the pharmacy departments in the hospitals. How does the GPO work, or how is it working together with the GPO? On the one side, the hospital makes a contract with the GPO. It's mostly only one or two sites. Said, okay, I will be member of your GPO and I accept the prices which you deal with the supplier. If the hospital purchaser goes to or is a member of the GPO, he is not allowed to deal prices. The prices are fixed between the GPO and the supplier. This is only for the supplier which are member of the GPO too. If you have a supplier which is not a member of the GPO, you can make everything alone. You can make the contract, you can fix the price, and so on and so on. But I said before, 95% of the hospitals are member of the GPOs, and 95%, I would say 70 to 80% of the hospitals work together with the GPO listed suppliers. The rest, some special products, some special supplier, or for example, completely new, completely innovative supplier products. They make it on their own, and they make a contract directly between the hospital and the supplier. Started to have the GPOs to optimize the price for all hospitals. In the normal way, it's equal if you are a hospital with 100 beds or with 1,000 beds. The normal price, the base rate for the price is for everybody is the same. But if you make a turnover from, for example, 300 hips or 400 hips or 500 hips, you get a better price. You get a special price. You get percent, 6 or 8 or 10% turnover, reimbursement of your turnover, and so on. But in the normal situation, for all, the price is the same, the base price. Why go the hospitals to the GPOs? They can optimize their products, the range of the products, and the suppliers. They had the most GPOs had very, very good e-business platforms, and you can see which supplier is listed, which price is at the moment the best price, which supplier I could change, which product group I can check what is the best price, how with supplier I get best reimbursement at what turnover, and so on and so on. That's very important for the head of purchasing, makes the work in the hospitals more easy than before. And then I can work together with the GPOs, and thus what are my procurement strategy? I can say, let's concentrate, for example, in product group hip or defibrillators or pacemakers or something else. And then let's concentrate to 1 or 2 product groups or 1 or 2 supplier. Then you get a better benefit. You can return your costs. You can optimize return of the investment, and you get more reimbursement at the end of the year. That's the job of the GPO, working together with the hospital, working together with the supplier to get the best result for the hospitals. And then within this working together, the GPOs, they make trainings for the hospitals, they make trainings for the supplier, they make workshops, they make congresses, and so on, so that the working together between the supplier and the head of purchasing or the purchasing department could be optimized more and more. Ways to conquer the German market, only a few sentences. It would be more if you had more time. It's very important to use the main marketing tools to show what is your product, what is your supplier, how is your supplier, what is your references, do you have references in other European countries? If you are not working together with German hospitals, that's very, very important. You have to take a lot of money and put it in your brand, because we in Germany, I would say we have all the suppliers we need. We have in all product groups, we have very, very many products, very many suppliers, and then you have the difference. What is the difference to the other? What is the difference to your existing competitive in Germany? What is your brand? What is your message? And I say it again, what is your benefit for the hospitals? You have to go, if it's possible, to congresses, because in Germany we have a lot of congresses, which you can see all the purchasing departments, all the hospitals. You can work together with them. You drink a coffee or drink a beer at the end of the day at the bar. And I think it's very important, if you are not you're working together in Germany or not working in Germany anymore, or already, sorry, you have to invite the opinion leader for your product and try to convince them. If you have a product for a special, for example, for orthopedic, it's something new or something special, I would pick the 10 or 20 most important doctors in Germany or universities or biggest hospitals, and try to make a contact with them, and then, okay, let's show you your product. Let's make a presentation of my company and try to convince them. And I think again, more and more often, besides the benefit, it's very important to have references. If you're not working in Germany, you need references from other European countries all over the world. And if you have convinced your key opinion leader or your key opinion maker in Germany, bring in on the stage, because in Germany we have a network of all business groups, network of doctors, network of nurses, network of controlling departments, network of marketing manager, network of everything. And if you have a convinced opinion leader, bring it on the stage, let's show it to the other, and that's how good your product and how good your company is. And you have to build up a sales force department and invest in the best sales representatives. It's very important, I think, especially for the foreign companies which will go to the German market, that they have in German speaking people in Germany which talk to the doctors. That's very important, because in my opinion, it makes no sense if you have a sales rep from another European country comes to Germany. First, it takes a lot of cost, and second, they make no sense, because in my opinion, if you work together with German hospitals, you must have a German-speaking sales force. What will be happened if you make it? I said before, put money in your brand. Very cost intensive, and it's not a short time. I said before, decision-making process in the hospital could be a long time, on long term, and it's so special for you if you're not listed in Germany, not working together in Germany. It could be a long-term successful, but if you have a very innovative product which has never other competitive company on the world, it could be a short time successful too. You go to the biggest congresses, you have to opinion leader in the hand for you, because you can say it's a big convinced opinion leader of you. probably they are on stage already with your main competitor. And that's a problem. You have to be the first. If you have a competitive product, you have to be the first. You have to be fast to go in the market if you will be successful in the market. And then it's very important to have references and the convinced opinion leader in Germany. What can you do to be successful in Germany, or what must you do to be successful in Germany? You have to make your customer, you have to make your hospital, you have to make your doctor, and at the end of the road, the patient successful. You have to learn together with your customer. Could be that in private hospitals has other jobs for you in learning than on public hospitals, or a church hospital have other jobs to work together with you than a private, or the doctors from public hospital A have other targets to work together from to you comparing to hospital B. Said before, that's in my opinion the most important thing. You have to show your value. I think that's the biggest mistake that sometimes the existing German companies and the foreign companies do. They show the companies, they show your price, they show your products, they show your key account manager, but they show not the value. It's very, very important to work value-based with the head of purchasing and the hospitals, and that then you can use social media, you can use other tools to make contacts with the head of purchasing or the doctors too. And though you have to act value-based and think about the German doctors are rather conservative, sometimes the older doctors, but I think more and more we have younger chief doctors, and then you can work together with them more successfully. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, thank you very much.
Super, thank you so much, Mr. Müller. Excellent insight into hospital purchasing, into the mind of those purchasing managers. We very much appreciate your taking the time with us. Everybody joining here today, thank you for spending your time with us. You're certainly welcome to reach out directly to Mr. Müller or myself. Our MedTech website link here leads you to our online presence, where we have plenty of content related to market potential, certification topics, recruitment, reimbursement, and more. So make sure to check it out. And thank you again for checking in. Bye-bye.